A video I never ever thought I would be making. A club, a player, a price tag, a potential transfer I never ever thought I would be discussing. Manu Kone, yes, Manu Kone, who came to the Serie A last season, who took the Serie A by a storm, genuinely took it by a storm. He brought dynamism in midfield, he brought box-to-box energy, he brought pace, he brought power, he brought versatility. He genuinely was a one-man show at times in midfield. That Manu Kone. And by the way, the Manu Kone that I believe has just turned 24. So he's still young. He's still full of promise, potential. He's got so much more growth in him. And he's well adapted to the Serie A. Now you know which Manu Kone I'm talking about. The one that plays for Roma. That at the moment during pre-season, you could seriously make a case. He's been one of Gasparini's shining stars. One of his standout performers. I've managed to sit down and watch 2 Gasparini games during pre-season. And Manu Kone has stood out in every single one. That Manu Kone is linked with Inter for a reported fee of between 40 to 50 million. Now, what do we make of it? What do we truly make of it? Now, before everything, I actually want to apologize. I haven't made that much Inter content this summer. The new season is approaching. We will definitely be touching on Inter on a regular basis. Now, I have a theory. It's like a theory. It's a question. It's more of a debate. Inter, a week ago, wanted Ademola Lookman. Now, it was being reported that Atalanta said to them, listen, just give us a 50 million package and he's all yours. Inter, listen, you're getting 42 plus 3. Take it, leave it. If not, we're moving on to other targets. Sweet. They didn't get the 50 million package. Inter have moved on. Now, let's be real. Inter, it's not as if they didn't have that 5 million. That 5 million extra. That 5 million that was the difference between them securing Ademola Lookman and then moving on to other targets. They had that 5 million. But they chose not to put that 5 million onto Ademola Lookman. In my opinion, I feel like they got cold feet. Now, the last Inter video that I made discussing the Ademola Lookman links to Inter, I had one question outside of praising the player and what he can bring to Inter and the amount of goals and the assists and all of the dynamism and the two-way trickery. I mentioned one thing. How will he be utilized? Because from what I've seen of Chivu at Parma, from what I've seen of Chivu during the Club World Cup, and from what I've seen briefly of Chivu during pre-season, he deploys the same tactics as somebody like Simone Inzaghi. He goes 3-5-2, Lautaro Martinez, Marcus Thuram in attack. If not, Esposito replaces one of them. Yes, at some times we've seen the variation of the 3-4-3, but you can clearly see his go-to, especially from his time at Parma, is the 3-5-2. So if Ademola Lookman had put pen to paper, how was he going to be utilised? One part of me thought he might come into Inter and that might be the door opening to Chivu maybe moving away from the 3-5-2. Because from what I've seen of social media, and I completely agree with it, a lot of Inter fans want to move away from the 3-5-2. Why? They just want a fresh start, like a brand new chapter, a brand new formation, brand new set of tactics, brand new principles of play. Like, you want to make it... You want it to feel like a brand new coach. At the moment, it's looking like Simone Inzaghi in just a different body, different hairstyle, different nationality. It's just looking very, very, very similar. I understand it. If Ademola Lookman had come, I suggested a 3-4-3. So maybe you go, I don't know, Lautaro Martinez in the centre, Marcus Thuram and Lookman on the flanks, or Lookman and Boni on the flanks, something like that. If not, signing Ademola Lookman for 45-50 million and utilising him as a striker, you're doing him a disservice because you're practically utilising him in the wrong way. You're misprofiling the player. In my opinion, Inter got cold feet. I feel like they looked at it and they were like, it might be a gamble because we either adapt to Lookman or Lookman adapts to us. So why don't we look at elsewhere? And I feel like when you look at Inter's overall transfer window, when you look at their squad, I definitely did not go into the summer thinking Inter need to strengthen offensively. I felt like they needed to bring in reinforcements. Like, for example, when you look at Arnautovic, when you look at Correa, the fact that they've moved on, the Esposito brothers have come in. Now, of course, one of them has gone to Cagliari. The other one, it looks like he's staying. He looks like a serious player. He could be the rotational piece. They've gone in and brought Boni. I don't look at Inter offensively and say they need a bit more reinforcements. Because I look at it and I say, you've now got yourself 4 pieces in attack that can rotate, that can interchange, that all bring a different dimension of attack to your overall attack, to your overall offensive play. I look at it and I'm like, when you look at Inter squad, which areas, which departments do you think they need the most reinforcements, where they need legs. For example, you look at Inter's backline. Old players. Like, let's be honest, old players. HAJJBALL, old. Pavard, not the oldest, but getting old. De Vrij, old. These are players that they need to move on. When you look at their midfield, Inter's notorious three-man midfield that's gotten them to Champions League finals, won them Scudettos, won them Coppa Italias. Mkhitaryan, how old is Mkhitaryan? What is he, 36, 37, 38? He's good for a player in his late 30s when you compare him to players in their mid-30s. But Mkhitaryan is nothing to somebody that's 23, 24 by the name of Manu Kone. He's good for a 36-year-old. But he's not good overall as a midfielder in the modern game, competing against 23, 24, 25-year-olds in midfield. Then you've got Calhanoglu. Calhanoglu was slowing down seriously last year. I feel like back-to-back injuries. Then you see all of the unrest in the summer. Like, it genuinely feels like when it comes to Calhanoglu, it's probably not public knowledge, but it feels like he's got 1 foot at Inter, 1 foot out, and he's just sat assessing his options. It's being reported today that Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia are looking to place a 30 million deal. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, the two areas where Inter seriously need to strengthen, and maybe, just maybe, that 45 million that was going towards Lookman is better off going in midfield. It's better off going on a centre half. That takes us to the breaking news. Manu Kone, 40 to 50 million. Looks like Roma have opened the door to his exit, mainly because it's coming across like they need cash. They're looking to bring in a few more players. So in their eyes, 1 step backwards, 3 steps forward, sell one for a ridiculous price, and then use that money to bring in 2-3 players. At the end of the day, their primary focus is squad depth. They're looking at Leon Bailey, they're looking at Jadon Sancho, they're looking at a few more other players. Manu Kone. Inter also reported with Loic Bade, the Sevilla player. He's good. He is actually very, very, very good. I'm actually very surprised that he stuck around 1 more year at Sevilla. And the crazy thing is, he had personal terms agreed with Bayer Leverkusen, Erik ten Hag's Bayer Leverkusen. But now that Inter have entered the frame, it looks like he's taken a step back. And he's told his agent, monitor that Inter interest. Because if it comes out one of the two, I'd rather go Inter than Bayer Leverkusen. And fair enough. It's understandable. Nobody can criticize him for that. Let's just say that overall deal of Loic Bade and somebody like Manu Kone, it's being reported about 25 million for the centre half. Let's just say 45, 50 million for Manu Kone. 75 million improves Inter 1,000 times more than 45, 50 million on Ademola Lookman. Because now Inter have strengthened the 2 areas where they went into the summer needing to strengthen. Like, going into the summer, regardless of Correa staying, Arnautovic staying, everybody looked at this team and said there's no legs in midfield. Defensively, it's pretty wild that you're relying on a 37-year-old in defence. You need to bring yourself some more dynamic defenders. Defenders with running power. Defenders that can defend the channels so you can move away from deploying this low block. That's what you need to look at. 75 million, it's a lot of money, especially when it comes to Serie A clubs. But you bring in like somebody like Loic Bade. You bring in somebody like Manu Kone. I'll be honest with you guys. Like, in my overall opinion, I feel like Inter have had a very slow transfer window. Luis Enrique came in, Sucic came in, Boni came in, and then it just went quiet. You bring in those two, in terms of just overall impact on this team, you could seriously like grade this Inter transfer window an A. An A+, or in the UK, we call it A star. Like, Manu Kone, do you guys know how good Manu Kone is? I still can't believe they're open to selling him. I can't believe they're open to selling him. But listen, at the end of the day, money gotta be made. If they're open to selling him, 50 million. Like, can you imagine? I reckon it would be somebody like Mkhitaryan that gets demoted to the bench. Can you imagine Barella, Kone, Calhanoglu, or even at times, because Kone has shown he can play as the lone 6 under Ranieri. You go Kone, Barella, Sucic. Do I need to say any more? Like, do I need to say any more? Like, that would be the reinforcements that Inter truly need, in my opinion. So as much as Lookman brought goals, assists, and goals and assists win you games, I just feel like with this, they need it more. They need a midfielder more than an attacker. They need a centre half more than an attacker. I feel like attackers should be the bottom of their list. If an opportunity presents itself for a bargain, go for it. Who's blaming you? But I found it ludicrous how, like, up until now, Inter finally start thinking, we need a midfielder. We can't go into next season Mkhitaryan, Calhanoglu and Barella. Sucic, he's looked great. But let's be real, like how long is it going to take him to adapt to the Serie A, to understand the intensity, the physicality, the tactical elements of the Serie A? Kone is from the Serie A. He's hit the ground running in the Serie A. He knows it like his backhand. I don't know if this deal gets done, but it's genuinely like one of those things that you look at and say, game changer. Like Kone in the team probably secures you an extra 6 points. An extra 6 points. 6 points can be the difference between a Scudetto and second place. Just like we saw last season. What was the gap? 1 point between the two? That's how good Kone is. But I just still can't get my head around Gasperini and Roma selling him. I just can't. And especially for that price. But I guess time will tell. Time will tell. Now if you're new, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. And I will catch you guys on another one.